Welcome to the Supernatural Occurrence Studies podcast.
So damn paranormal.
My name is Jason Knight, host of the show. With me today is Oscar Spector, producer extraordinaire.
That's not true. I'm not here. I'm still asleep.
You're a ghost.
I'm a ghost.
Got it. Fix the theme. Mr. Joe Erie, Claire Sensitive.
Yeah.
Oscar, edit that out. No. And, of course, my partner in crime, co-founder of Supernatural Occurrence Studies and Claire Sensitive, Mr. Dave Black.
Good morning.
Good morning. It is early. This is really different for us.
It's not really that early. It's 10:30 a.m.
We're an hour ahead from what we're used to. Yeah.
Oh, well, it's 9:30 a.m.
The Haunted Ohio podcast trip rolls on. We are on Kelley's Island, Ohio. Reporting live-ish from the Kelley Island Wine Company. And we are very lucky to be
or winery?
Sitting here.
Wine company.
Wine company, okay.
You always got to question me?
I was just wondering.
We are very lucky to be sitting here with
Abby Rosato, general manager
of
the Kelley's Island Wine Company. Yes, that's where I'm from. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time this morning. I'm sure you're very busy.
Oh, so busy.
Just let us know anytime you want to end this. We're be respectful of your timetables.
No problem, yeah.
Okay. So we were told to come to the Kelley's Island Wine Company from two interviewees we had at the beginning of the Kelley's Island trip. Jordan from Chamber of Commerce and Leslie from the Historical Museum, Kelley's Island Historical Museum. They said, you got to go to Kelley's Island Wine Company. You got to talk to Abby. There's a lot of stories coming out of that location.
Yeah.
So here we are. First, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So the winery is third-generation managed family business. So my grandfather actually started the winery. My dad is the current owner, and me and my husband are the general managers here. So I've been here for 5 years, but I grew up here. So from childhood, I've always been in and out of the building and around here, obviously.
Nice.
So.
Excellent.
Yeah, I live here now year-round, so I know all those people you're talking about pretty well. But other than that, yeah, pretty much just a basic person.
Is there anyone on this island that you don't know? Because I feel like there's got to be at least one guy that everyone's like, who the hell is that one guy?
Anybody who doesn't go out to the bars and restaurants. There's like 4 or 5 older people that don't leave their houses. I don't know those people.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
you know, when you get old, it gets hard, I guess, right?
right.
Yeah.
And just sit and enjoy the view. I mean, I probably wouldn't leave my house very often either.
How many permanent residents of the island are there?
127.
Wow.
Is our last count.
127.
Sitting at the VFW with a pen and paper,
so
tallying up.
Wow.
And so during the summertime, how many people are here?
I think I don't know that. I think it jumps between 1,000 and 2,000.
Okay.
We have a lot of like summer homes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The winters must be excruciating.
I mean, I enjoy it, but I guess it depends on who you are. Yeah.
I love winter too.
Yeah. No. Well, they're about the same as anywhere around here. So Cleveland, Sandusky, but there's definitely like we're 80% over 60, so I'm probably one of 30 people that are under 60. So yeah.
So I know at Put-in-Bay they were telling us that the snow kind of blows over and doesn't really accumulate on the island very often. Is that true here as well?
It depends on the winter. So if we get a lot of snow, no. But if it's kind of like just light dustings, we don't get a whole lot of coverage.
Gotcha.
Which is good because we actually don't have any salt trucks. So strictly plow trucks.
Right.
Yeah. There's no place to store the salt.
Gotcha.
So it's just they plow the roads and then they kind of just leave them.
Wow.
Good luck.
Yeah. Hopefully you have four-wheel
You would
drive.
think with all the
Do they ever find any cars in the
like I said,
it's to come thaw?
not the lake, but I would say it's a pretty small town. So if anyone goes off the road or
Everyone knows immediately.
yes, there's someone that's driven by or gets a call.
You would think with all the quarried out areas, it'd be pretty easy to figure out where to dump some salt.
Yeah, I think it's more they have to cover it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Put up a dome or whatever.
What an interesting way to live. I'm jealous, for sure.
I love it, but it's not for everybody.
Right. We're leaving later today, and it's kind of a sad thing. This was
Hope you guys had fun,
yeah. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so what is happening here at the winery?
So the winery is down the street from Indian Burial Grounds. There's a large S-shaped, serpent-shaped burial ground on Woodford Road. And when they built the road, they cut through the burial ground, destroying part of it. And I talked to my dad last night, think that what happened is some residual spirits when we built this building were just looking for a place to go. So essentially there's one very specific spirit that makes like an appearance a lot, and it's a woman with long dark hair. And actually it's funny that we're here on a Sunday because everything happens almost always on a Sunday night.
Whoa.
So if you talk to anybody who works here, or even like my dad or my mom, they'll tell you don't be in this building after dark on Sunday because we close at 8 p.m. So usually we shut down the building. If you're here really late, like there's just always weird stuff that happens.
What time does our fairy leave today, guys?
And that's how they call her, the Sunday evening ghost? Is that
Yeah.
Somebody says that she always appears at 8:30.
Well, it depends on the timing depends, but it's usually later at night after dark. So
She just knows that everybody's gone.
I don't know, and like different things happen. Usually, most of the stuff that's happened has happened later or after we leave and come back, things like that. Or if someone's here later than they're supposed to be. Pretty much.
Got it.
Yeah.
So what are some of these, what do these sightings entail?
So the main story that I always remember is my dad was bottling wine here on a Sunday with one of his coworkers, and the whole building was shut down. So all the doors were locked, and they were downstairs behind the building in a cellar. There's a separate entrance. And we have 2 viewing windows where you can look into the cellar. And they were bottling wine, and they looked up, and there was a woman there waving. And they were like, oh, that's weird. All the doors are locked. So they came upstairs and checked. All the doors were locked. There was no one in the parking lot, and there was no sign of anyone. But, from start to finish, it's just the same person. So different servers have seen, she's, really present for some reason around the women's restroom and in that area. So, if they're counting their tips or adding in their tips late at night, they'll see, a figure move from, the bar to the bathroom, or things will fly across the room. Just weird things like that.
Really? So
yeah.
We would call that poltergeist activity. I mean, where it's actually manifesting in the physical.
So one of the women who works here was cleaning, late season cleaning, and she'd stayed later on a Sunday, and she was cleaning out, all of the bar area, and we have these, tubes that go from the gun that holds the, soda gun down to, a drain, a barrel drain. And she was cleaning out, all around there, and she had taken the thing out and set it on top of the bar, the tube, and it flew across the room. It was just, a late Sunday night thing. And she was like, ooh, I gotta get out of here. And she left after that. She was like, oh, she's mad. Because a lot of times, too, we associate with, okay, she wants us to leave, we'll leave, because we associate that stuff with her, obviously, not wanting us here anymore.
Being unhappy.
Yeah. Or, the guys that clean in the morning claim that the bathrooms are always trashed on Sunday mornings. I mean, that could just be because Saturdays are busy, but one guy that worked here, claimed that he would go in there on Sunday nights and it was or Saturday nights, and it was dirty but not trashed, and on Sundays he would go and there was toilet paper everywhere, almost like someone had thrown stuff everywhere.
Sounds to me like Kyle didn't get his side work done.
Exactly.
So is there security cameras in the building?
We don't have security cameras, no.
Might be time to get some.
I know, yeah, that's
$1 million
true.
footage right there.
So just a lot of stories like that, and they range, everyone that, not in the later years it's kind of dwindled a little bit, but I would say, everyone who worked here in the last 5 years has some kind of story.
Wow.
We have a lot of new people this year, so a lot of them are like, I want to see her. They'll be like, I was here late at night and I didn't see the ghost. And I'm like, well, you're too eager.
Has anybody ever been touched? Or?
No. I don't, as far as I know, no.
Got it.
When we were in the basement of Fern's house, something flicked me in the head.
Yeah.
Really?
I felt like something brushed across the top of my head, and we were in the basement. It's creepy in that basement. And I felt something touch the top of my head, and I was taking pictures, so I wasn't really focused. I just assumed I had walked under a pull chain, and it brushed against my head. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
And then I turned around, and there was no pull chain there.
It's crazy, yeah.
And that basement had probably, I don't think anyone had been down in that basement for at least a year or so.
Oh,
so I
wow.
don't think it was like a fly or anything like that down there.
Probably not.
Yeah. Now, you said it's kind of dwindled. When was the ghost heyday, would you say?
I would say, so probably 3 years ago. We haven't had anything really crazy happen lately. We did reopen that building, which I don't know if it had something to do with it, but that was closed for a long time.
So the cantina is yours as well?
Yeah, so we're all one business. That's the original winery. It's a 7-seat tasting bar. This building was built in 1998.
98.
Yeah, so that building is really old. I don't even know. I know 1800s, that building. Wow. So I don't know if maybe I don't know. But the thing is I will be in both these places late at night. And I go over there because that's where my office is. And I'm not freaked out at all. But in this building, it just feels like something. I don't know. I can't explain it. But there's a residual, I don't want to be around here late at night.
So it is kind of not a good feeling here?
Not that, just more like, oh, I think something would happen if I'm here. Like, I don't want to be in this building by myself late at night because, freaked out, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
Voices, anything audible, sort of?
Nothing like that. Nothing. Okay. Well, there was one time when I was little and we came down here to get something out of the cellar, and we came in the cellar door and came up through the back door, and there were like these loud noises, but I ran away. That's all I remember. I was a little kid. But I thought that was weird. My dad said the same thing. He thought it was the ghost, so.
Wow. And we're thinking possibly Native American, some sort of whatever ancient culture was
here. Yeah, because this building is new, so it doesn't really make sense for nothing's happened here.
Which is one of my questions, right?
Yeah, like there's never been any, wrongdoing or murders or anything, so I think it is like something from a long time ago, personally. And we're so close to there that chances are these were some type of like Indian grounds, maybe not burial grounds, but I mean, I'm sure someone lived here at some point.
Yeah, I was reading something in the Historical Museum. They think 2 different tribes inhabited Kelley's Island, one of them being Erie tribe, Joe Erie. The other one, I can't remember what the name was. I'd have to go back through my footage, but...
Ottawa, maybe? No, I don't know.
Yeah, they would use them as stepping stones, like, too, right?
Through the island,
past to Canada, back and forth.
Right. So it quite possibly can be, and we've discovered, for doing this for 20 years, over 20 years now, that anywhere natives were, the paranormal energy, the activity, the story, it's hot. It's just a hotbed of activity. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, for sure. Whenever there's been, like for instance, in the city of Chicago, there's a lot of streets that are on these angles that run from like northwest to northeast or southeast. And the reason for that is because a lot of those roads were Indian trails at some point.
Okay. Yeah.
So consequently, a lot of these angled roads in our city anyways have a lot of paranormal activity and haunted places along them, and I think it has a lot to do with the rich history of that specific passageway. So,
not to mention the island is just limestone deposit.
Yeah.
There's this whole theory where limestone is a conductor of that sort of energy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
either
very
a
interesting.
retainer or a conductor.
Yeah, then I mean, you dig more than 10 feet anywhere, you hit limestone. So
so quite
and the water.
You're surrounded by water, which is another spiritual conductor.
I kind of
they say
equate it to like the habitat of an animal. Like if you want to look for a specific type of animal or bird or whatever, you're going to go to. Oh, well, they like aspen trees, so you got to go on that side of the island because that's where the aspen trees are, and that's where you're going to find. And I feel like the energy is the same way. Like there needs to be a certain combination of elements to make it present, to make it, show up, essentially.
Absolutely. And this seems to be a perfect habitat for that.
Yeah.
Everywhere we went last night, kind of went on a marathon sightseeing tour. We had a certain amount of window while it was dark out, so we had to be up early this morning.
Yeah, there was a man who lived on Long Point. I don't know a lot of the details because it was in the 80s. I know my dad knew him, and he was gay, and he had like, I don't know what like the term is for it now, but like houseboys essentially, like over 18 that would come and like stay with him, and one of them killed him with a phone in the 80s, bashed him on the head, and then tried to sneak off the island in one of his cars, but got caught. Yeah, so there is like a lot of theories that area is haunted, but that's also like a very private neighborhood. So there's a gate to get down there.
Wow.
There's like 5 different houses, all very like giant lots, all waterfront. So it's people that are a little more have more money.
Now I do want to bring it back to Kelley's Island Wine Company. Mm-hmm. So we have workers reporting. Have you ever had any customers experience?
No, because it's usually after we close. Okay. So we're not open past 8 on Sundays. And in the fall, in the off season, we close at 6. So just on Sundays, the rest of the days are usually open until 11. But we usually like to take Sunday and give everyone kind of a break. So we close at 8, so no one's here past 8.
Right.
And also, it's more, I think, she makes like appearances. I don't know, when it's more. What are you doing here? Like, this is kind of like, I'm here by myself kind of thing. I don't know why, but I feel like that's it. It's not like a lot of people see her or strangers, I guess.
Does it feel like maybe it's the night belongs to these kind of entities in the daytime? Like the daytime, it's our time.
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
then the rest
Sunday nights is whenever. I mean, nothing happens in the morning or during the day. Usually, it's like literally like concentrated on Sunday nights. Some other nights at nighttime in general just kind of feel like a eerie feeling here. I would say
It almost knows that you guys are closing. It's the time
Yeah.
to relax and somebody
like
stays over.
It's her time, like her place.
that's
Like,
what
what are you doing here?
I always equate it to kind of like a nocturnal animal. Like if there's raccoons that live in your attic, they're going to be up there during the day, and then
Yeah.
when it's nighttime and they know you're gone, they're going to come down and mess stuff up. So you personally, what is the most crazy experience you've had?
Probably what I was talking about before. So when I was younger, we came down here late on a Sunday. We were camping by my parents' house. My parents live behind here. So this is a 12-acre lot, and we live behind the lot in a house back here. They do. And we were camping, and we needed an extension cord to plug something in, and we came down here, and I walked through the cellar up through the back door of the winery, because there's like a cellar where we do all the wine, and then there's a back door. And to me, it sounded like screaming, but it was just like a really loud, like, noise, and I grabbed the extension cord and I ran out, and that was probably like the weirdest thing that's happened to me. But also just seeing things in the morning, or like things will turn on and off when I'm here late at night, or be moved in the morning and like with no explanation, just like random little things like that.
I love it.
Yeah, like it's not. I haven't ever like seen her or, but I can tell there's something. I guess.
Has anyone named her? Does she have a name?
No, not
just
really.
a long-haired lady.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Sunday night ghost.
Sunday night ghost.
Have
Yeah.
you had experiences other places than here?
Not on Kelley's. No, I don't think so.
Okay. So you don't consider yourself sort of
I mean, I
sensitive to this thing? or
no,
open
I
to this?
wish. I think that'd be really cool.
It is really cool.
It is cool. I love the stories, and I love going to other places and hearing the stories, but I've never had an experience anywhere else. So,
So obviously you guys are open to talking about this stuff. We've conducted a few interviews, and I'm not going to say which interviews, where we had to pause the recorder a number of times to have sort of these off-reel conversations because they did not want a lot of the some of the paranormal stories that actually were happening out to the public to kind of ruin their reputation or scare people away from their business. So obviously, you're here talking to us. We explained all the platforms we're going to be on. You're open to this.
yeah. Well, my dad, when I told him about this, was
talking
like
about
very nervous. He was like, "We're going to make her mad." I was like, "It'll be fine. I swear." And he was like, "No, I don't talk about it because I think that'll just aggravate her." He was very nervous, but not more in the sense that of like making her mad and like her being upset and something happening. But
Not ruining the reputation.
no,
of the wine.
I mean, we're not
Good.
open.
That's awesome.
She's never made any appearances when we're here or open, and it's not like there's been any, threats to any customers or anything.
The amount of people that will seek this place out because it's haunted is going to be a lot more people than the people that would not come here because it's haunted.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Good. I hope we can
either
help
way.
in our own little way.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Any other stories you could think of from here before we kind of get into? Tell us about the winery. I mean, we ate here yesterday. Service was great. Food was awesome. Tuna was the best I think I've ever had.
That's awesome.
But any other stories you want to talk about? Anything else you could think of?
No, not personally. And like I said, it's just like a lot of like weird occurrences or like, everyone has stories, but that's pretty much all I have is just seeing her like I said, between the women's bathroom and like the bar is like where she's like at. But that's
Do you have a favorite secondhand story, like from somebody else?
yeah, like a lot of, I mean, pretty much that one story with my dad is the most like present one, but there's been all like people, like I said, people counting their money down and mainly just the bathrooms.
Those birds are very
No, that's
talkative.
well. We're sitting outside, kind of got some ambient noise rolling. Those are cool. What are those?
They're swallows.
That's like editing program added that in.
Right, Oscar would put
They're
that-
fighting.
We thought it'd be cool to record
Husband and
outside.
wife.
Yeah, get some wind, get
Bickering
some
there.
crickets, get some swallows. That's awesome. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah, no. So probably that story with my dad, but everyone, like I said, everyone that works here has a story, but I just don't. I wish I had a better one for you other than that.
Well, let us know after this interview if anything.
I will. If
to
anything
you.
else happens, you never know. Maybe I will make her mad. Who knows? I hope not.
You
All
wear a
right.
wig like her.
Ooh. So tell us about the winery. What makes you guys you?
Yeah, so we're, like I said, third generation. family business. My husband works here. My little brother works here. His girlfriend works here. My sister works here. Both my parents work here. We have a cantina in the old winery building that does handcrafted margaritas, and then the winery. Us and the pump are the two businesses that stay open the longest, other than the VFW. So we're open St. Patrick's Day to New Year's Eve.
Okay.
Yeah. After October 31st, it's pretty much just me and my husband sitting here waiting for some locals to come in and drink beer. But yeah, so it's like a family business through and through.
Could you tell us a little bit about your wine? I'm not a wine connoisseur.
Yeah.
So could you tell us a little bit about that?
So we do, we're not an estate winery any longer. We do buy some grapes from a small winery here on the island, or small vineyard, I'm sorry, here on the island. And we're planting some grapes now. But, where am I going with this? Oh, yeah. So we do a lot of classic lake varietals. So classic lake wines, Concords, Niagaras, things that grow really well in this region. Some sweeter stuff, some drier stuff. But mostly our sweeter stuff is our popular stuff because it's what really lends itself to this region. This growing region is really known for its sweet wine grapes. So
got it.
Yeah.
Other thoughts?
Wouldn't mind doing a walkthrough.
Abby, would it be okay if we do a walkthrough?
You guys are more than welcome to. I do have to open the bar, though.
Okay.
Yeah. Great.
But you guys are more than welcome to walk through wherever you'd like.
Yeah, we're perfect. Listeners, definitely come check this out. Awesome place. Ghosts, food, wine, what more? On an island, what more can you ask for? So we're going to pause it here.
And there's goats.
And there is goats next door. What's with the goats?
Oh, we
forgot about the goats.
Well, we had a potbelly pig, but she passed away. And so, yeah, we got two goats to live with her. That's Millie and Ethel. They're celebrities here.
Millie and Ethel.
I was feeding them corn chips from my
Were
mouth.
you? Well, that sounds about right. They'll
We
eat
have
just
pictures.
about anything.
They will.
Yes, they'll eat just about anything, even chewed up corn chips.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, very cool atmosphere. Definitely come check it out. We're going to pause it, gear up for Joe and Dave to do their walkthrough, and we will check back with them and Abby here shortly.
Okay. Dave Black here at the Kelley's Island Wine Company doing a walkthrough of the building. I'm actually in the front of the building right now. I initially did a walk around the building, but I forgot to press play on this, so I did not record that. Nothing really happened, though. Northeast corner of the building, I feel some pretty strong vibes over there from the exterior. I'm inside now, not feeling much there. We just finished the interview with Abby just a few minutes ago, so I'm just kind of doing a walkthrough of the building. So I'm on the north-facing side of the building right now, inside, and kind of along in both corners of the north side of the building, I'm kind of feeling a little bit of a vibe. Nothing terribly strong. I am on the west side of the building right now. There's a little tasting bar here that I'm walking past. There is some tables back here. Walking back towards the restrooms. Okay, as I walk into the little corridor in front of the restrooms, I am feeling a little bit of a pressure in my head. Walking into the men's bathroom right now. There's definitely a slight presence in the men's bathrooms. Nothing terribly strong or intense. Walking back out of the men's restroom. Walking over to the women's. I don't think anyone's in here right now. Not really feeling a whole lot in the women's restroom. Okay, I'm in one of the stalls, the left stall in the women's restroom, and this is the most strong I felt it in here so far. Once again, it's very light. It's like a 3 or a 4. Nothing terribly strong, but definitely kind of a general presence throughout the building. Walking around the corner now, there's a little deli kind of section with cheeses and such that go with the wines. Walking back to the Lake Girl Boutique that overlooks the winery in the back. I can see the barrels and the big cylinders and such that they make the wine in. Not really feeling a whole lot right here. A little bit, like this whole this corner of the building seems a little bit strong, but not too intense. It's pretty light overall. Okay, back a little shop here. Walking back. Gonna go through the bar into the kitchen. Walking through the kitchen now. Just kind of walking around back here. Not really feeling a whole lot in the kitchen. And I'm back here by the laundry area. My hands are turning red and my veins are popping out. So there's definitely a presence here. It's keep in mind it is still the morning. The sun is up. So whatever is here is not too strong. I'm actually kind of walking around trying to find where it's hanging out at. Back here in the office in the winery. Walking around the winery part right now. There's just kind of a general presence of energy here. It doesn't seem nefarious or anything. I'm kind of walking between the big wine distilling metal things. Back here by the jukebox is where I feel like it hangs out. The bathrooms really didn't yield a whole lot for me. I walked around the whole building on the exterior, and they have like a little garden and stuff back there, which is kind of neat. Back out here now in the back by the air conditioners, walking around back to the front of the building where I will pass it off to Joe and let him do his walking. So to recap, the strongest places I felt were, for whatever reason, the northeast corner of the building. Kind of both corners of the front of the building, the north side of the building. And then a little bit back there by the mop room. Not so much in the bathrooms, a little bit of a presence in the bathrooms, but once again, it's daytime, so it's kind of hard to pinpoint anything at this time. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Joe and see what he feels.
Alright, it's Joe Erie. I'm doing my walkthrough now. I'm walking in right now. Alright, walking to the left of the bar. Feeling so much, but maybe towards the kitchen in the back. Alright. Off to the right of the bar. Not really so much. I'm going to kind of walk back towards the left of the bar again, because it's kind of getting a little vibe.
Hey guys, how's it going?
I actually feel it towards the left of the bar in the corner towards the window, towards the front of the establishment, a little bit. Okay, now I'm making a right towards the bathrooms. Kind of actually getting a big feel over here. I'm not going to go in the bathroom with the recording, but I definitely have a feel towards these bathrooms over here, for sure. I'm going in the back of the establishment. It's a gift shop. Definitely feeling it more back here. Okay, yeah, more. Oh, okay, wow. I'm in a t-shirt section of the gift shop right now. I am definitely getting lit up right now. It's definitely over here. This is the strongest I've felt it so far. Okay. In the back, there's a window you could actually see where they got the brew kettles. barrels. But yeah, definitely this area, it's the most in here. All right, that was it. I mean, I guess if I could conclude, to the left of the bar in the front of the building, a little bit towards the back room, near the back room, right near the washrooms, and the restrooms in the back, for sure. And then as you go to the gift shop, a little bit more, and then that little corner area where the T-shirts are, that was the hot spot. That was the heart of everything.
Okay, Joe and I just did our walkthrough, and we're standing here with Jay just outside of the Kelley's Island Wine Company. What did you figure out? Where did you? So first, I walked to the front of the building, to the left of the bar. I started feeling it. Not so much. Went to the right, but then I started getting again towards the front of the bar, to the left by the window. Right here, by the corner, by the jukebox.
Yes,
that's where I felt it.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So then,
again, let's just reiterate that you guys did this completely independently.
Yes.
You were not together. Okay, so
but initially, I kind of went there. I kind of had a little bit, but went away, and then I felt it again. I had to go back to it. I'm like, whoa. Okay,
I first felt it on the outside of this corner, the northeast corner of the building, and right by the open sign there. But I will say that it's not very strong. There's not a whole lot. It's it's there, but it's like a 3 or 4. It's not very much.
But remember what they said about daytime versus nighttime, right?
So then I walked to the right of the building. That little whole, it's like the dining area, a little bit towards the back. But when you start going through the back, the restrooms, a little bit more for sure. But then
the left stall in the women's bathroom is where I
didn't
felt
go in
it.
there. I stayed outside the bathroom just in case.
Okay, well,
I knocked on the door and walked in.
No, obviously.
But there was. It's there, but it's not like. It's one of those things where it's like you can feel it present in the building, but there's no one particular spot that I was able to find. I couldn't find the energy.
Okay, so I went to the gift shop. That's when I started really picking it up. And when I made that right in the corner where the T-shirts were, fuck, dude, it came to me, and that was the hot spot.
I didn't get anything over there.
All right, so because we have to continue with the interviews, we actually got the two owners going to sit down with us, and I want to recap your findings with Abby.
Yeah.
3 locations. Can you guys agree on 3 locations in this building that we could now go bring to Abby and try to confirm?
For
so
sure.
You guys both hit on the jukebox area.
Yes,
right?
100%.
Okay. That's
the bathrooms definitely over there. But my craziest feeling was in the gift shop in that little corner.
But that's
area.
right behind the bathroom.
Yes.
Too.
Okay. So bathroom, but Dave specifically female bathroom. Correct?
The woman's bathroom. I felt a little bit in the men's, but it was the woman's bathroom left stall is where I felt it the most. And then this corner and the mop bucket room.
So jukebox, bathroom focusing on women's bathroom, right? Bathroom area focusing on women. Yeah. And then gift shop behind.
Yes, there's an area where the T-shirts are. Yes.
Is that safe to bring to her?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes? Okay, listeners.
I lit up there.
We'll continue. This episode of the Supernatural Occurrence Studies podcast is brought to you by Gamefly.com. Right now, for our lovely listeners, Gamefly is offering a premium, free 30-day one-game trial. That's one free game trial shipped directly to you, with a pre-addressed envelope included for super easy returns. No contracts and cancel at any time. Go to www.gameflyoffer.com/ghost. That's gameflyoffer.com/ghost. Choose from over 8,000 new and classic games for almost any console imaginable. Remember, that's www.gameflyoffer.com/ghost. Start your free trial now. Okay, the final thing we would like to do here at Kelley's Island Wine Company is to confirm Dave and Joe's hotspots when they did their walkthrough with Abby, our original interviewee. One area that Dave and Joe pinpointed was the front, I guess, our right jukebox area.
Yeah.
So my husband just told me, this is kind of weird, Rodney just told me, so the jukebox wouldn't turn on this morning, and when it did, it was playing Billy Joel over and over again. No. I'm not even joking you. He said it wouldn't turn on. He tried to turn it on 3 times, and Billy Joel Allentown was playing, which doesn't play on the mix here. Isn't that weird? Okay. I'm dead serious.
She must love Billy Joel.
Well,
and loves Billy Joel, right?
Who doesn't love Billy Joel?
Exactly. Good point. But anyway, so, I mean, I guess, maybe, but I've never seen anything over in this area, but, I mean, if that happened, it's kind of weird.
Okay. Second area, Joe, was?
The dining room. I started feeling it. And by the bathrooms, it's kind of like the same, a little bit more towards the bathrooms, but definitely it started in that dining area.
That makes a lot of sense because, like you guys said, there's a lot of like people that have experiences between those 2 areas, so that does make a lot of sense too.
And Dave specifically,
the little like boiler room, mop bucket room back there.
Really?
Yeah, I felt a little bit back there.
I don't know. I've never had anything happen back there, but you never know.
Right. But specifically the female bathroom, correct?
Yeah, I definitely felt something in the left stall of the female bathroom.
That sounds right.
Okay.
So the strongest feeling I had here were my hair, everything was like antennas, just shoot. As soon as I started walking through the gift shop, I started really getting it. I'm like, whoa, it's over here. And as I walked back and made that right where the T-shirts are in that little corner, I was just lit up.
So, well, that one main story with my dad, that's where that happened.
Yeah.
So
we told him that story.
Yeah,
With
she was looking down through those windows.
So that story he told you, that's where she was looking. She was looking through those windows down. If you look through those windows, that's where our winery is. They were bottling.
Yeah,
and that's
awesome.
where they saw.
That's where he saw her. So, like, that's the most pronounced story that when I told you guys, and then he told you as well.
That's where she was at.
It's through those windows. So they were bottling down in the cellar down there, but that's where she was standing right there.
I mean, like I literally just lit up over there, right in that corner.
She always said it was the bathroom. But I guess it's over.
Well, I mean, it could be.
Well,
she must spend time there.
It's right behind the right room.
Yeah.
And also, he said the left stall, which is weird because whenever I'm here late night, I use the other stall. Just saying.
Your body's telling you.
Instinctually.
It's touching it, so, I mean, it is the same area.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible.
It's very incredible.
It is incredible.
We think it's really incredible because some people don't believe us. They think, and like, you know us. Why would we make this stuff up?
That's true, yeah.
Really, why would we make this up? We're not crazy.
It's really funny.
They don't. Some people just think we're.
There's very few people that I meet that are just straight up, I don't believe it. Not real.
Not anymore. Yeah, it used to be common.
One of the guys in the kitchen was like, "No, I don't believe in ghosts." I said, "What? How is that possible?" Right.
And interestingly, my father-in-law, who's 80 plus, sadly his wife died a couple years ago, and he would have never believed. He was dead set against until she passed, and then he realized the importance of believing in those who have passed beyond and their presence. And now he's a believer, because. For a good reason, so not a good thing, but a good reason. So
I know people that'll be like, I found a penny on the sidewalk, and I know that's my mom. I'm like, well, you could have just found a penny on the sidewalk, but all right.
And that's okay. If they want to think that, if that makes them feel good, they should feel that way,
Right.
I believe in the cardinal thing. I do. I see a cardinal, and I'm pretty sure it's my grandma. I might be way off base, but I like to think it's my grandma.
Funny because every time I see an owl, I'm like, well, I have to kill again.
All right, listeners, in a surprising turn of events, we now have the opportunity to sit down with the owners of the Kelley Island Wine Company. Didn't know this was going to happen, but figured strike while it's hot. Guys, could you please introduce yourself to our listeners?
Hi, I'm Robbie Zettler.
And I'm Kurt Zettler.
Hi, guys. Thank you for agreeing to do with this.
My pleasure.
We're in the middle of a business day, so appreciate your time. Kurt, could you... So, from what we understand, you've had the most intense experience here. Abby was just telling us the story. We would love to hear that story firsthand, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, this is one of the few occurrences which actually did happen during the day that I was just thinking about. Oh. Yeah, this was during the day I was down bottling with one of our summer workers, bottling, so to speak, and our cellar is a level below the main windows in the winery, but there are windows up there. All the doors were locked in the winery. It was probably 9-10 in the morning, and we looked up. We were just sort of talking, looked up, and we saw a figure of a lady, middle-aged, nicely dressed, not in any sort of period outfit, pretty much contemporary clothes.
Read my mind. Oh,
and
contemporary clothes.
Contemporary clothes, yeah. I mean, and it was, and I looked over at the kid, and I was like, "Did you leave one of the doors open?" He's like, "No." He's like, "They're all locked, I think." I was like, "Well, we must have left one of the doors open." So anyway, she was probably at that stage maybe about 30 feet from us in the viewing window of the winery. I said, "Okay, well, I'll go show her out." She must have got in somehow. I walked up the stairs, walked into the winery, and I was like, "She's gone." All the doors are locked, and I take it back. One of the back doors was open, the back kitchen door, but it would be hard for anyone to work their way around there. So I was like, "Oh, she must be in the restroom." So I'll give her a few minutes, using the bathroom. Pretty typical. Someone comes in on a walk or something like that. So a few minutes pass, and then someone, hello. Went to the ladies' restroom. No one in there either. So pretty much somehow this person virtually disappeared within a period of probably 15, 20 seconds from where we had just seen her. And that was, and another fellow was there, like I say, with me. It wasn't just by myself. So that's probably the most intense thing that has happened here. But numerous, every Sunday evening after dark, numerous doors closing, things falling off of shelves. Nothing really, that dramatic, but just enough to sort of give you a feeling that you are not alone. You're not alone.
How does that make you feel? I mean, were you ever frightened?
I've been uncomfortable. Just, and I never work here Sunday evenings by myself. If there are people around, things happen, but
you don't. Her she.
Yeah, you don't really.
Yeah, I asked if she had a name. If anyone named her.
We have not named her, but we call her she. We refer to her she.
The ladies' restroom seems to be like the center
of where she seems to
where
be in the
things are going on
restroom.
there. Yeah.
And she also doesn't make herself known so much when there's a lot of us here.
Yeah.
So if there's a lot of us here, we won't hear from her here. But if there are a few people, that's when experiences happen, or one person. I think she's not comfortable when there's a lot of us here, and that's why we're not hearing from her.
I think a lot of that might just be when there's a lot of people around. It's a lot harder to notice things happening because there's a lot of commotion. I mean, and
you're preoccupied.
Yeah, generally speaking, if something fell off a counter or you heard a knock in the other room, if there's 7 or 8 people talking, nobody would really pay attention to it.
I didn't think of it that way. You're probably right. Yeah, yep. But that's the experience. I haven't experienced her, but I know she's here just from the number of occurrences and things that a lot of people have mentioned.
I mean, door closing is extremely common, and it's just so bizarre when it happens because I always go back there and I'm like, okay, who's here? And there's never anyone there, and we're talking large doors closing, like outside doors closing, cellar doors closing, big things that the wind isn't blowing them shut. The wind is not blowing them shut.
I wish I could experience it more. I don't. I wish I could. I don't, but I really do wish I could.
Anyway.
It'd be a great thing to experience.
I don't feel it either. I'm with you. I wish I could.
I wish I could because I think it would be a great thing to experience, but I don't. And I don't even know how to tap into it. I wish I could even learn how to tap into it. And I think you can tap into it, but you really have to, I think, focus or figure it out.
I wonder if it almost even charges from all the people. Since there's so many people here, it almost feeds off their energy. And then when they leave, it's kind of, that's how it feeds.
Yeah. No, I feel anxious. I am anxious because I'm not. I'm uncomfortable. Never because of anything threatening, but I'm just uncomfortable with having someone in the building who I can't see for the most part.
Sure. Yeah.
I can't see and I can only hear, and it's like so.
I think there's a certain amount of also negativity about what these spirits are and always have been. They're always portrayed as the bad ghost in Hollywood and theater. Yeah, exactly. And so I think
it's funny. I would say in about 9 out of 10 hauntings of people that we talk to that live with it, most people are perfectly fine with it. Don't feel that it's foreboding or mean or or bad in any way. They're just like, yep, it's here, and we're here, and
Right. I think
that's
some
about
people,
it.
though, that don't know enough about it naturally fear it because
Right.
that's what they've been taught to do.
Absolutely.
Fear they're evil. That's what Hollywood has showed us.
Yep.
It sells movies.
Right.
So
I guess one final point I'll touch on, I mean, what you said, how she was not, because when we interviewed Abby, we kind of had this general consensus of this is Native American, this is something very old. I know there was a burial ground here that was kind of destroyed, for lack of a better word, to bring in roads, which Hollywood always taught us, don't do that.
Yeah.
But then you came and said she was in modern clothing. Before the building was built here, were you... do you know of anything that happened on this land in particular? Or
No, it was old vineyard property. But the really odd thing is that was our first winery, the old stone building there.
the cantina, correct?
The cantina, yes.
original.
Now, you would have thought that there is absolutely no action there whatsoever. Never has been.
Wow.
Whereas in this new building, 200 feet away, is very active, so I've never been able to quite figure that out unless
possibly something happened in this space.
in this space,
On
or
this
we're also
space.
closer.
That's
We're also
probably
closer to the
what it
burial
was.
ground. Maybe we're within the perimeter of where they're wandering at night.
Were
I don't
these
know.
burial grounds? Did
The
we
burial
live in-
ground's right down the road.
But they
What?
weren't here.
Was there ever any other building on this property before?
No,
Like
vineyards.
even
Vineyard.
hundreds of years ago?
Not that we know of. Vineyards before they were anything, but as long as we've been here or any history we know, and we know a fair amount of history about this island. This island is rich in history and is documented. So
there were no buildings here.
there was nothing here.
Maybe the
so
ghost,
interesting.
the ghost came from the building and like, oh, cool, you bought me a new, or you made me a new house. You built me a new house.
But even when
and
we
I might
were
as well
there-
change the clothes now too.
Yeah, we lived there for.
We lived there, and that
upstairs
was
there
the main
for
building
several years,
15 years before
and
we
there was
came
nothing, zero.
So it could well have been something was here. It had to be.
Right.
I mean,
Now, Kurt,
I would
have
say-
you had experiences elsewhere on the island or in your personal life? Have you felt these things before? Do you get those like chills down the spine and like get a weird vibe at other places you've ever been to?
I do, but I guess I've never really pursued it or really noticed it that much because it was never on any sort of regular basis.
Right.
but we
Whereas here-
travel a lot, and one of his favorite things to do when traveling is, we go to a lot of ruins and in Mexico. I mean, that's one of your
I enjoy going to
favorite
Mayan ruins. Yeah,
Mayan
yeah,
ruins
I do
and
enjoy that.
and churches.
But I've never really
and-
felt. I've never really felt anything. I've never really felt anything out of the ordinary at the ruins.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I felt a sense of belonging there in some ways, but that's I don't.
Maybe a past life is
Past life.
calling. Well, you guys, thank you so much. This was awesome. As I said, it was unexpected. I lied and said I didn't have one more question. Joe Erie just fed me a note. We were talking offline about the Lake Erie Monster. And we kind of talked with Abby about that. So this kind of fits, throwing this question in there. And the Serpent Mound that is here, which we're going to go visit, the Serpent Mound in Peebles, Ohio, which we're going to visit. You had an interesting theory about, you've heard of the Lake Erie Monster.
It's
Not
very-
necessarily a monster, but possibly.
Lots of folklore about the Lake Erie Monster in this area. Lots of it. It was actually once on the cover of the National Enquirer. The Lake Erie Monster is, this monster living there. But I think that it's not so unlikely. The Meg is, a Hollywood movie right now.
Right, that
they
existed.
believe it exists. Still there's talk of it. Why is it why is it so unlikely that the Lake Erie Monster is not living? Why is it? I mean, there's a very strong possibility it could be.
Sure.
There's no reason it
They're
couldn't
finding
be.
prehistoric fish all the time in the ocean.
Right, so-
The Great Lakes are super deep as well. I mean, you look at the ocean, all the crazy things they pull out of the bottom of the ocean.
The other thing is there used to be, and it was anyone who lives in this area, it was called South Bay Bessie is also what she's been called.
South Bay Bessie, okay.
And there was, as you were coming down the road, as you come down Route 2 to get here, there was this home and Lake Huron, and there's a lake, and they had a fake Lake Erie Monster in it, and everyone in the area called her South Bay Bessie and knew who she was. And when we would bring people, when we lived in Cleveland, to the island, my kids always pointed out South Bay Bessie to all their friends because that's the folklore. But I believe it. I certainly believe. Why shouldn't we believe that? I mean,
What do you believe that it is?
I think it's probably something from just like the Meg from prehistoric time that does rear its head now and then and has been seen by people. But again, we are coming to believe these things are true now because they're documenting enough. We all used to think that this was a bunch of hogwash, but not so much anymore. Maybe connected to the Serpent Mound in some way that they connected their mounds and the Lake Erie Monster to what they built, those Serpent Mounds in Peeble, Ohio.
That they were
it could very well
this
be connected.
Ancient creature.
We should tell them what we felt when we did our walkthrough.
Go for it. We pinpoint. You guys pinpointed 3 places.
So,
just
first,
keeping in mind with their time.
Yeah, definitely by the jukebox a little bit. Just getting a feel, and that the dining area by the bathrooms started feeling it more. Then definitely the bathrooms. My biggest spot was the gift shop.
Okay.
But towards the back, like where the T-shirts and stuff were, my body was like, whoa! I mean,
What by the T-shirts?
so you go in the gift.
back there,
Yes,
by
yeah.
Lake Girl, by where the windows are.
Yes. So as soon as I started walking through, I'm like, oh, it's over here. It's over here. And when I walked in that area, my whole body, it was just, my hairs were like antennas. And
Wow.
So that was the strongest spot that I felt
That's
it.
very cool.
I'm not going back there after dark. That's
I mean, do you guys have experiences back there or anybody?
I don't have experiences.
I would never go back there after dark anyway. So
He does.
I mean, if I'm
maybe
We've heard that's the area.
Maybe
they're
you're
coming
picking
from.
up on something.
We've heard
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
where
I
we've
just
heard
would
from
never
is
do
the
that.
bathrooms to the gift shop. That's where we hear. That's where all the stories, where all the activity, everything goes on. And I've experienced her doing things, dropping things, slamming doors, but I don't feel her. Unfortunately, I just don't.
Feel the side effects of her.
I've seen the side effects, and I can attest to that, but I can't anything else. But other people have.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, you guys.
Oh, it's been fun.
Thanks for stopping by. This is extremely interesting.
And send us your information so we can hear it and
Yeah.
tune in.
We're at the location of the supposed serpent mound here on Kelley's Island. Of course, that little nugget was thrown at us very quickly, so we were escorted to the location by one of the winery workers, the restaurant workers, and we're here in the field now. We think we found it. It's severely overgrown. It isn't like Serpent Mound on the mainland, which we are going to visit, which is very well manicured and maintained, so you could clearly see the shape as we were walking through the area, which sounds like it was an Indian either temporary settlement, seasonal settlement, or burial site. Abby talked about the burial site. Makes sense. They would have some sort of community around the mound that they built. So as we were walking through the area, we did discover a bone. We don't know what it is. Took a bunch of pictures of it, left it where it was, of course. Doesn't appear to be a deer. Not saying it's human or Indian or ancient. But we did find a bone. We're going to try to have it identified. Truncing through the woods right now, watching for poison ivy. Going back to the mound area. And again, it is severely overgrown. There's no way to discern a serpent shape. But it is well known on the island. It is a big mound. It is long. And of course, we're toying with this theory that I haven't heard before. This may be a new theory in progress here, but Serpent Mound, Peebles, Ohio, Serpent Mound here on Kelley's Island, supposedly a serpent in Lake Erie, I believe they called it Bessie, do these mounds point to some identified creature either currently living or living in our far past that these mound builders revered, worshipped maybe, respected? Do these mounds correlate to the Lake Erie sea monster? I don't know. Joe, what do you think?
I mean, just putting two and two together. I mean, it sounds cool. There could be. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We might be stumbling onto something here, guys and ghouls. That was tacky. That was kind of cliche.
That was, yes.
Cliche?
Very, yeah.
Lexi, how come it is when you do speak, it's just to run me down?
I run all of you down.
You do. All right. So, again, we're standing on the mound, very overgrown. You cannot really make out a serpent shape, but it's definitely here. There's something we're walking on. And
how long would you say? I mean, at least 300 feet.
I mean, look
right?
the way it goes up on that side, to our right.
Maybe 500 feet?
To our left. I mean, that's all raised area. If that indeed is a mound, it's big. It is very big. So
It's camouflage with the overgrown nature.
Say it again, Oscar?
It's camouflage with the overgrown nature. Like, you can easily miss it.
Absolutely.
Nobody knows about this, they were saying. Like, this is kind of like
or they've forgotten about it.
They've forgotten, like a hidden gem type, and it's still undiscovered. So
Right.
they've never dug it up. They don't know what's underneath it.
Do you guys?
No one
are you
knows.
picking up any energy here? Any
Not-
feelings walking through here? Considering
No,
this was
I don't.
Indian land at one point.
No, Dave, do you feel anything?
I'm not really feeling anything over here. No,
Okay.
I mean, it's cool, but
Yeah.
I can't really honestly say that this. I think that if this was genuinely a Indian mound, burial ground, whatever, there'd be some kind of mention of it online or whatever. I haven't really.
Would there
I
be?
try-
I mean, look what they allowed
but
to
hardly
happen.
they said hardly anybody knew about it, and it was kind of like a lot of the developers kind of brushed it off because
Right.
they wanted to build over
You
it.
can't develop
Yeah.
on top of it. And look what they did to Inscription Rock. Inscription Rock, of course, is a petroglyph here on the island. They allowed it just to get weathered and fall off into the water and basically have those petroglyphs wiped. So maybe this is something they're trying to forget around here, possibly for development.
Anyway,
I'm speculating, but...
Anyway, we can check in with Leslie, see if...
Oh, right. Make a call to the historian.
Right.
What? Good thought. Good thought. Listeners, will let you know if that pans out. But I know I said it before, but we're bringing this episode to a close.